With the 2022 C8 Corvette Z06 reported to debut in mid-July, we are getting more and more information leaked out as that date creeps closer and closer. Now, thanks to a new report from Wheels magazine out of Australia, which featured an article written by Angus McKenzie, who is the International Bureau Chief of Motor Trend, has stated that the 2022 C8 Corvette Z06 will have the most powerful naturally aspirated V8 engine ever. Now, that in itself is a pretty tall statement, but considering the sources, you're going to have to lean towards believing it. Now, what we do know thus far is that it has been reported for quite some time now that the C8 Z06 was going to get a dual overhead cam, flat plane crank V8 based off of the C8R's 5.5 liter V8 engine. Now, with it being a dual overhead cam and a flat plane crank, it's going to rev out to somewhere around 9,000 RPMs. Now, Angus McKenzie also stated that he has in good faith and reports that the 5.5 liter engine will put out 617 horsepower. Now, that's a very specific number. There's no roundabouts, give or take. He brought it down to the number 617 to be exact. Now, that is a lot of horsepower for an engine to be putting out, especially a naturally aspirated one. But considering it is a flat plane crank engine and it is going to rev out to 9,000 RPMs, not only is that 617 horsepower feasible, but it's going to sound glorious at that red line. Now, this has a lot of different benefits to it. Without any power adders such as turbos or superchargers, you're able to keep the weight of the car down and you won't be producing extra heat from those turbos or supercharger. So that also keeps the engine cooler without having to stress it out too much. Now, I know I was speaking a little early about reliability or how this engine is going to perform, but if it can be made reliable and GM is successful in making this motor, this is going to be phenomenal. I mean, to have an engine with that kind of power that can rev out that high, naturally aspirated, this is going to be a winning combination. Now, the Z06 has always been the more track-focused version of the Corvette. The base model C8 Z51 handles phenomenally. It's already proven itself on the track. Now, just imagine how much better the Z06 could be, not only with the mid-engine design and this more powerful engine, but I'm sure they're also going to be dropping some weight, adding a lot more carbon fiber, and a host of other goodies that's going to make this car just glued to the track. Now, it's also been rumored that they've seen the Z06 being tested next to a Porsche GT3. I'm not so sure if this is supposed to be a direct competitor to the Porsche GT3 or if it's just strictly a coincidence on where they wanted their performance to be around abouts. But to think of a larger, heavier Corvette performing at a GT3's level is pretty impressive. Now, it's also reported that the C8 Z06 is going to be getting an updated variation of the 8-speed dual clutch transmission that is currently in the C8 now. You're also going to get a center exit exhaust, various aero upgrades, and Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R tires. Now, unlike Z06 models of the past, which were a more track-focused street car, it's starting to sound like the new C8 Z06 is going to be a race car for the street. So let me know what your thoughts are on this new information of the C8 Z06. 617 estimated horsepower, a host of other upgrades. Curious what your thoughts are. I think this is an absolutely phenomenal step forward. That's a lot of power for a naturally aspirated motor. I like the idea of keeping down the heat and the weight, making it an even better handling and better performing car. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you enjoyed the content. Please hit that subscribe button too if you haven't already to keep up with more automotive news and content. And I'll catch you in the next upload.